Hello guys and welcome to MotorBeam. I think I should be surprised today, but I am not. Suzuki says it's the start of their new era with the Gixxer 250, but is it? Today I'm here riding this motorcycle and the Gixxer 150, and I'm gonna tell you, is it a new motorcycle or is it just a gimmick that Suzuki has played? You see this big fairing right here, that's the change that has happened. The Gixxer 250 SF is all new motorcycle here, however it resembles an international version, but the changes are quite evident and it looks quite similar to the existing 150. Well, who am I kidding, the 150 is also updated. So let me talk you through what are the actual updates. The front is an LED unit. It's a complete new face. The visor is a little smaller now. The mirrors are the same, however the positioning is a little different. The front and the rear tire are cast alloys. You look at them, they look like diamond cut wheels, but they are not. The tank is the same unit as you've seen on the Gixxer earlier. However, the dual port exhaust, yeah, that's completely new. If you look overall, the bike looks smoother and it's completely packed in. The one thing that catches my eye is a split seat unit. The tail looks similar, but the tail light unit is completely new again. And in the Gixxer SF 250, you've got just two color options, a matte black and a matte silver. And I love the silver too much. This was all about the Gixxer 250. If I talk about the 150, the hanging parts are exactly the same as before. The only thing that's new here is the design, and if you look at the 150 and the 250, if they stand right next to each other, you won't be able to differentiate except for a sticker. However, in the Gixxer 150, you get a dual tone option in the silver color, which is not there in the 250. The Gixxer 150 also has a smoother design on the dual port exhaust. Although both the bikes have got LED headlights and a tail light, they still miss out on LED indicators, which I think in today's generation of bike is a crucial thing. The instrument cluster has also been updated. It's a completely new digital unit. Although it had a digital unit from before, you get a positive LCD for the Gixxer 150, however you get a negative LCD on the Gixxer 250. That's how you differentiate, and the numbers over here are quite free. The details are easily readable. However, there are no extra details, but the mandatory details like the speedometer, tachometer, odometer, twin trip meters, and there's a shift light too, which are there on this console. There's a gear position indicator too, and there's a presence of a clock as well. A major change from a rider's perspective is that now there is no handlebar. Both the bikes get clip-ons. So as I'm talking about clip-ons, let's talk about the ergonomics. I'll say the ergonomics of the Gixxer 150 are exactly the same, however the change is only in the handlebar, which is a clip-on. The Gixxer 250 is quite comfortable too. You don't sit upright, you sit slightly leaned in because of the clip-on. Again, the seat height is at 800 mm and this motorcycle is quite accessible. However, the only thing that might bother you are the foot pegs. In both the motorcycles, the foot pegs are of center set unit, and if you are in a traffic riding condition, however we didn't get any at the track, in the pit lane we did. The foot pegs do bother as they hit your calf quite a few times. As I talk about pillion comfort, however I did not have a pillion any time here, and I don't think I'll be having one, but I can see that the seat unit is slightly bigger than the existing one. The split seat does look good and it's quite squishy and comfortable. Styling was a major part, but for the 250 the engine is too. If I talk about it, the 249cc motor produces about 26 horses and say somewhere around 22 Newton meters of torque. Well, this is the category where CBR used to rule, and I can say one thing, the performance from this motor is quite engaging. You don't get too much of a low end, the mid-range is very strong and you get a very good top end. However, the power comes in very close to 9000 rpm and this motor redlines at 10,000 rpm, and you do hit the red line too quickly. Suzuki has kept it a little old school as they were the first one to get an oil cooler. This motor is still an oil cool unit. However, it does get an FI, and the throttle response, I'll say, is quite engaging. The clutch is decently heavy and the gearbox is slick shifting. It's a 6-speed unit, however you don't get a slipper clutch, as I can say the engine area is still running a little old school. The bike does not vibrate that much, however you can find some buzziness close to the red line. In the case of Gixxer 150, it's quite smooth and it's a lovely bike over there. This feels quite powerful and you'll enjoy this more out on the track like this. Gixxer 150 is made for the road, and I can tell you this, that this motor can do some touring duties as well. This being a 250, you can expect a mileage close to 30 to 35 kilometers per liter, but don't be too much happy as the tank is quite small. It's just a 12-liter unit and you won't have a big of a tank range, not more than 300 to 350 kilometers. For the Gixxer 150, the mileage remains the same as the engine performance hasn't changed even a single bit. The performance figures, the numbers are exactly the same. However, the bike is a little heavier and you can expect a drop in the mileage, but then the FI unit on the 150 feels quite potent and the bike feels very smooth, more smoother than a 250 obviously. As we are happy with the performance of the 250 and the 150 does quite okay, let's talk about the riding dynamics, where this bike, I can say one thing, excels. The 110 section front tire and the 150 section rear tire grips well. These are the same spec tires as we have seen on the Dominar, and I can tell you these tires grip well. I just love the clip-on setup on this because it gives you a lot of confidence, and the diamond frame is packed up quite nicely. There is a good amount of straight line stability, and if you are tipping it into corners, this motorcycle handles corners really well. The grip is good, the feedback from the handlebar is good, and the area to grip around the tank, that is also pretty good. If you see, the seating comfort is quite nice and you get center set foot pegs. So overall, this motorcycle is made for a track, but actually it's more of a 250cc sports tourer. The Gixxer SF 250 gets a dual channel ABS unit, and the bite and the feedback from these brakes, I can tell you, is quite amazing. The bike just stops and there's no fishtailing at all. Overall, the 250 rides pretty well, and it does not feel like you are riding a 250, it feels like you are riding a 150. And if I consider talking about the 150 feels even more lighter. It has the same diamond frame. Tires are however a little small, and it gets a single channel ABS unit. If you go full braking, you might feel the bike stutters a little and there is a little bit of nosedive in both the motorcycles. The overall riding dynamics and the brakes are quite enjoyable for the 250, and 150, it's like a mini brother to this. It is a little bit more flickable but not that powerful. Well, Suzuki has given a lot of accessories with the Gixxer 250 and the 150, but I can tell you, in the raw condition they are right now, they are quite appealing. The main question lies, should you buy any of these? The Gixxer 150 has been in the market since quite some time, and with this update, it's a proper facelift model. Gixxer 250 is a brand new piece here, and it's here to take on the competitors in the biggest segment. This one costs just slightly above 2 lakhs and this one is close to 1,35,000. If you want a motorcycle that can do city duties, this one is to go for. And if you want something for the highways as well, the 250 makes perfect sense. And for the price, if you check out the competition, the 250 is very appealing. A lot of you guys might have heard about mutual funds, but I'm sure many of you must be thinking where to start investing from. Honestly, it isn't as complicated as you think, because with the Kuvera app, investing has become easy. This app allows you to browse through numerous mutual fund schemes and track their history before deciding where to invest. The app also has a very useful utility which enables you to make goal-based investments in case you wish to invest to later purchase a new car, a new house, or even generate wealth for post-retirement. After you add your goal, you get a robo-advisory powered recommended portfolio too, which also includes an all-weather portfolio. Kuvera also offers direct plans where you save on commission, and this app has a single login for all these features. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit the like button, and if you have any question about either these two bikes, the comment section is open for you. And I'm sorry for such a kind of face, I'm recovering right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.